All right, guys, here we're talking about Season 3, Episode 10 of Daredevil. So this is kind of like our, episode, like 8 of Stranger Things, or whatever that episode where it was
interesting.
Totally different.
Okay.
I really like this episode.
I was just going to say, but in the exact opposite way, where episode 7 or 8 of Stranger Things was like a failed pilot for a spin-off that everyone would like to pretend never happened, and the season is 1 episode longer to accommodate it, because even they knew it does not, fuck this episode.
So I actually like that episode, and I like this episode. This episode, for me,
opinion,
I was really into, because I've been watching this season going, like, what did I miss? Did they just, when did they explain any of the things they keep referencing? And they hadn't, and I thought they hadn't, but I have a problem sometimes where, like, I just, obliviously missed that key point or something.
I think we knew, like, her brother died, and she had a thing or something.
The brother died. It was allegedly her fault in some way, and I like the road this took, because you knew enough information to be dangerous, where you could keep making predictions like, oh, this is when he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, this is when he dies. Yep. And he made it far past, the expectations, and then literally dies because of her. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. So that's interesting.
I think you heard something about drugs and something about him dying or whatever, right? And that's all you knew. So in my head, I was kind of like, oh, like he was into drugs and he was this and that, and she lied or helped him or did something or like didn't do something, and then he ends up dead or whatever, right? But it turns out she's the Okay, so I love this episode too. The first like 28 minutes of this where they're doing this flashback, it's better than some movies or whatever.
Yeah,
I was so into it. It's so good.
Engaging character work. It was nice.
I'm like,
her dad is what's his name?
Tobias from Oz.
Tobias Beecher.
I was like, yes, and he's so like I don't know. I assume that was his voice on the phone earlier, right? But to put it all together, to have because like she calls home and she's like, I figured I would come home for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, no, or whatever. You're like, oh, this ice cold motherfucker. And now you see the whole like history.
He's still ice cold.
He is because he's
messed
up.
Lost his wife to cancer. That is beyond his control.
Yeah.
And then he loses his son, and that that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he loses his daughter. Like he is the reason he doesn't have his daughter.
Yeah.
They both
pushes
could have
her
been
away
a good support for each other.
Exactly,
I understand, a little bit of time maybe needed.
He's still like, in like the negative column, but now you see like what went into that whole thing. You were just like, wow, he seems unnecessarily rude, and now it's like, oh shit, they have all this history, and that's why all this stuff happened. You get to see all the gory details.
I do want to know more about the dad, though. I want to know, did he eventually lose the diner? Now he had no help.
Exactly.
He was $5,000 in debt. How'd that work out for him? Like, what exactly?
I think he returned the grill. I think that's how that story ends.
The moment you take that truck off the truck, you can't return it for full value.
I have no idea.
That's gone.
No, I love this episode so much. I don't think we should get into every single detail of like the whole thing here.
No.
I want to highlight like I think even times before that, we've talked about the Marvel Netflix shows, how they develop their characters, what they do or whatever, and we even said like, I don't need to see all this crap right here. Just get back to the superhero stuff or whatever. And this is the example of the exact opposite.
Where, when it's done so well, you don't even care.
You can go back to like her first appearance now, and this will maybe intentionally or accidentally recontextualize everything that she does, right?
And I wonder how in advance some of this stuff is thought about.
Exactly. But I think that they made it so like you can either make it line up ahead of time or after the fact, right? You can kind of fudge some stuff, make it work, whatever, right? I was like walking around my house just doing other stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, 'cause this, oh yeah, 'cause that, or whatever, right? When she shoots that guy, right? You didn't know if she'd ever handled like a gun before.
She certainly has.
In these flashbacks, you see her target practicing, and like your brain kind of goes like, okay, so she wasn't like, oh shit, I've never shot a gun before. That's interesting. Then she shoots
shot a person before.
Yeah. I literally had this roller coaster. I'm like, well, okay, so she shot a gun, but she never shot a person. And then she shoots a person, right? So you get to feel this whole thing, right? This whole like chain of like events. Also, she likes bad boys. She was dating this like drug dealer, like thug type, right? Who
I thought could have been her brother when it first started, because
I was very confused.
He looks more like he'd be related to her than the person playing her brother does. They're both like the same colored hair.
Yeah, when he comes in to rescue her from the Chad, I thought like that was her brother, and like okay. So they deal drugs together, and they're pretending to go to college. They're also fucking. That's weird. Okay, no.
The moment it got to the kiss, I was like, okay, not her brother.
Exactly.
But my thought, because I'm trying to predict the death from the very jump, I'm like, okay, so he takes his football player down, blah blah blah. Later, that guy and his friends come and jump him, and he dies or something.
Yeah, and the brother tries to help her or something, and that happens. Yeah.
Then it's quickly that's not her brother. Okay, let's move on. Who dies? Let's see.
No, but so like she likes this bad boy, right? Who does she like gravitate towards, right? Like she even says so like Matt's like, I'm Daredevil. She's like, oh, well, that's so much worse or better. I thought you were an alcoholic. Like she's into, like, she has this thing with him. She like gravitated towards the Punisher. She was into like Frank's whole thing, right? So in that scene in that diner later where she goes, Frank, and that whole thing happens, right? This is all this running through her head again. All the stuff, watching someone that she cares about beat up someone else, the whole thing. It all fits together. I was so hype about this, this like entire backstory. This is so amazing. Let's cancel this show.
That's what
I'm so like fuck,
What makes this episode so much better too is, so you have the first like a little over half is this great backstory where you find out the character, and the next half is just like an action scene for almost the whole time.
Right.
So like it had everything. So like
this is a very
you'd have no one
episode.
going like, oh man, just this drama, blah blah. No, then it went into a decent fight scene.
You don't get into a situation, and I know you love this episode, but like Walking Dead where they do like the flashback and Morgan and the cheesemaker, and I'm like, are we never going back to the present? Is it all just the cheesemaker? And like,
I really like the cheesemaker too.
I totally know you do. I personally did not, but this has the best of both worlds, where you have the flashback and then you go back to the present, and things happen that the flashback plays into.
I think it's mostly this whole thing about these flashbacks or different setting episodes is like they're more about acting, and like not that these shows are not known for their acting to begin with, but like it's nice to be pulled out and like, okay, it's just an exposition dump, but it's done so well, and like they really take their time and set up, and these actors are really well cast and good, and you're like, it's like, oh, I know that guy from blah blah. Oh no, he's really okay, perfect, and like things are happening, and you're like, okay, this could be actually, if you made this an hour and a half, it's a movie I could watch just about these characters that have no relation to anything else, but they also happen to be these pivotal characters in this other thing, and that's what really makes it so worthwhile to me, that there's so much time and effort invested in making these great things that are just offshoots of something else that's great.
It's like the dream when you would watch a movie and everything's universe now, and you're like, I just want to see a movie about those people, and like on a show you can do that by devoting an episode or half an episode to like, hey, let's go back, and they just go back.
Well, I was even thinking in my head, I was like, all right, the Karen character, I don't think she's like an in-universe staple. I go, could they spin off the Karen character and just show her past?
Marvel's Karen. Or whatever. Yes.
Like pick her up like, a few months before this all happened, and just give me 2 seasons of like the day-to-day.
Give me her whole journey going.
Yeah.
I
would watch it.
That was the other thing, was like her like dating habits, but also her like, she's in this like codependent relationship with her family and this like broken family, and she has to be the one that has to tie it all together and keep it all under control, right? And then we see, so what happens? I end up working for this like broke-ass law firm where one of the guys keeps disappearing and has bruises, and I have to do all the files, and now we're getting this happening, right? And then like, oh, I have to pay Matt's bills, I have to do this, I have to, the newspaper, I have to do this, I'm carrying the gun, and like, it's the exact same, it's like the psychology of her character. You can go back now and watch her like debating something, and now you can see all these images of her and her father, right? When like Ellison like abandons her and is like, no, get the fuck out or whatever. That's like her reliving her father and all that stuff. I'm like so impressed by this. The season could just end now, and I'd be like 10 out of 10. This is the greatest thing ever.
I wonder though how much was pre-planned, or how much is just music that happens to sync up to the video.
I think a lot of it, more than I would like, is probably
it's just luck.
Or like, they filmed this now, so you can like do it all now. You can make stuff happen. And like say something like this should happen, so that she can, so it'll sync up. So
I want the prequel show to start when the mom gets diagnosed with cancer. It's a happy family moment, and the end of the first episode is when she finds out she has cancer, and then pick it up from there. Keep going, boys.
Yeah. No, but like, so you're saying like the flashback, even like the filmmaking, when it cuts to her with like the nosebleed, and then later her talking to her dad, like her performance was really good. She sold the whole like fake younger her, because it's not that long ago, and same actress, everything.
No, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was a little awkward for me at first, like when she starts off and she's like just in the bra doing the whatever, and I was like, and then I think everything from that moment on was really perfect for me. I was like, no, that's great. Just something about that luging thing where I was like,
okay.
A little like...
Luging? Oh, okay.
The ice luge.
Whatever. Yeah. Like she's such a party girl and all that stuff. And then and the guy's like, so what year are you in? And she's like, oh, I'm not. I'm kind of taking a gap. Like she's like, oh, wait, what? Oh, you're not in college at all. You go to this trailer and you're dealing drugs on the side. Oh, it's so good. Barely holding it together, right?
The brother burning the trailer down. I thought
it's crazy.
That was so insane to me.
It's
like
a little
such
extra.
a leap.
Yes.
Like, why wouldn't he just call the police and say, this guy's dealing drugs, here's an anonymous tip? It wouldn't go directly back to him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be an arsonist.
Right.
He wouldn't be burning potentially thousands of dollars worth of product that would surely put him on the hook for that money.
Exactly.
And get his ass beat.
Yeah.
You're burning a man's home down.
It's probably the most out there thing in that whole sequence, in that whole flashback. I do agree. That's a bit much. It kind of forces the escalation.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
And it's the whole...
in a way that's not very natural.
Sticking around. Like, if he was going to do it, would it not be a throw a Molotov cocktail from a moving car scenario and just keep burning off down the road?
I think
he seems like he waited for them to get back almost.
I think we're meant to think that he was just leaving.
We are. But
it's already so on fire.
Yeah.
Which visually is better, but yes, it kind of implies that he was like, I'll just watch it for a little bit. Oh, shit, they're coming. Let me leave. And, pass them on the road or whatever. Yeah.
And it wouldn't be a thing where you wouldn't park your car next to it. You would, park off in the distance, walk to it, and then run away.
The whole thing there's
very awkward, very goosey.
The whole thing there's kind of a mess.
Those are those kind of things. And granted, he's not a criminal; he's a good kid, so he doesn't have the mind for it, I guess. But it felt like I'm like, okay, that was just because you needed this to happen. It didn't feel natural.
He didn't set up enough of because he wants what's best for her. He did that thing with the college thing. He did something else. Right? He saw the boyfriend being shitty, but you would think that he would have had to have seen the boyfriend being abusive. But if the boyfriend's abusive, that reflects poorly on her for being with him, so you can't do that. And
if you read a little bit further
bind,
into it, it could be as simple as okay, she's been not sleeping at home. She's been sleeping at this guy's house. If I take that house out of the equation, she has nowhere to stay here. She doesn't want to stay with us, so she'll go to college. I can loosely see the blueprint.
It's a very naive,
but it is
way of
it
doing
is a child's way of thinking. But he's not young enough to have that thought. If he was 12 or something, I might be like,
if he was a 12-year-old arsonist.
But do you know what I mean?
I
got to protect my sister. That's what I would do. This and that.
There's the one line in there where the boyfriend says, you're glad your sister's hot or something like that.
You're lucky your sister's hot.
You're lucky your sister's hot.
You're glad your sister's hot, aren't you?
I was concentrating on the second part because calling that out, I'm like, okay, he's definitely a shithead or whatever.
Certainly.
And but that again, leaping from that to arson, I do agree. So we're being very fair with our assessment of everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Good times.
Yeah. So
we get back to the present.
We're back in the present. We pick up where we left off with Daredevil. He's in that office. That lady is not crippled. She's in a rolly chair.
Oh yeah.
She stood up.
Oh okay. I wasn't even paying attention to that because I was still so high off the flashback. I couldn't think straight. No. So this, I can be critical of for a moment because they literally they could not make it any clearer. If it was a video game that had a prompt that had choose A or B, she literally says, "Now is your only chance, Daredevil." You have to choose between killing Fisk and saving Karen, Daredevil.
And the amount of time he wasted thinking about it, he could have been running down the stairs where he had to leave anybody and just kill him in the hallway,
or something, right? I don't. The whole logistics of it, how he got out and got there in time, and how much later or sooner or later they would have been. I don't know, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
But so he runs, gets there in the nick of time.
Things don't play out exactly as we expected.
No, we did get the death we thought we would get, but not from the character we thought we would get.
And the mom's not even there.
Exactly.
She's nowhere to be found. She's not billed. I assume she's not billed on it.
She's not there, I imagine, because the Kingpin has her somewhere, because he somehow knows that's the mother already.
That would be neat.
That would be my guess.
They have to do that, I guess.
Because where else was she?
Just to explain the fact that she's not there. But where else was she anyway? They have Karen. She's making arrangements. Maybe she might have to go somewhere.
At other churches talking about people. I picture her with a telegraph
I know.
Christ.
Yeah. Exactly. No. So that guy dies. That's the lamest thing ever with the thing sticking into your chest or stomach.
It's such a weird thing that Dex keeps killing people with the billy clubs
by impaling them.
Impaled him with a billy club. That's why it's not just a precision or an aim or hand-eye coordination thing, is that he's able to throw things at a speed that doesn't make sense.
He throws the scissors like this, and it goes inches into Daredevil's thing. He's got some weird
I will allow
fast twitch
that
muscle.
One, but then later he breaks a rosary and he throws the beads, which are made of fucking light-ass wood.
And shatters the stuff.
Yeah, like they're bullets.
Yeah. No, it's a
That's where I was like, okay, it's clearly a superpower.
So yeah, no, yeah, totally superpower. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a perverted version of the power. It's not the same power.
They're being cheeky about how far they want to push it, I think, and it's not really consistent.
You'll find out later that he forms a telekinetic bond around the item, and it just travels to where he wants it to go at a speed he designates.
Right, he'll be tied up, and something will fly and hit someone, and he'll be like, "Oh, what the fuck."
I don't need to use my hands. I just do it.
I just like working out. I just like doing throwing shapes. No, yeah. So I think that even I was joking about everything happening the way it happens in the Ben Affleck Daredevil, but I think someone gets killed by the billy club. It's not sharp, right? It's barely even tapered on the ends, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's impaling people, and it has to hit them in center mass just so that they can mutter their last words. That's really fucking played out.
His last words, which ruined his ability to kill Dex. His forgive us,
right,
Matthew.
Oh, there you go.
And then Daredevil looks up as he has Dex fucking dead to rights, he's just pummeling the fuck out of him, which is doing no damage because he's wearing a fucking armor suit.
He's wearing his ropes though. It changes the whole fight. No, so that's less than ideal, right? I would have kind of because as it plays out, Karen goes, "Oh God, he's gonna kill me," and then she opens her eyes, "I'm not dead."
I like
and the guy there, that's all good. But why not cut wide to the priest with his hand out trying to block it, and then the camera turns and you see that his shit's all fucked up and he's shattered from the billy club or something, and it's I don't know how you do this really.
I would not have done an impaling for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you
or do it with something that makes sense? Have him throw anything else.
How do you do a fatal wound with a blunt object?
Hit him in the throat.
That lets him, right. Well, yeah, but then he has to be able to say "forgive us" or whatever, something like that.
Well, he could
have him say "Matthew, forgive me," and then jump in front of her thing or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. That telegraphs that he's doing something.
You could hit him in the temple. There's a lot of things that could give you that last thought.
Yeah. You need
even you're an old man. You hit him hard enough with anything in the chest, he might just die. That's how it works.
I know, but the impaling is uncharacteristically goofy. I think we agree.
Yes.
On this maneuver.
We definitely agree.
The fight continues.
There's
some good shit happening. I like the little moves. Someone's really putting a lot of time because we have the earlier fight, this fight now. There's several set pieces, and you're watching them learn about each other. They, the fights alone kind of tell a story, right?
Yeah, he now knows much more about staying in close and keeping things between you and I.
And he's using the rope gauntlets to block stuff or whatever, and he's aware of it coming, right? He ends up getting knocked out or knocked over because Dex frisbees a collection plate to come around and he doesn't anticipate.
It's like a perfect frisbee throw where it has a curve and it's ting, it makes a noise
Bong. Yeah. It goes yeah. No, I know.
I almost wanted him to make it hail first because there's money in there. He could have been like fing pong.
Yeah, to do a 1-2 distraction or whatever. Yeah, there's some awesome just visual. He pries off a door of the pew and then does
he beats him
spin
through
or whatever.
Multiple confessionals.
Yes. Yeah, they both get really good stuff in, right? You can tell Matt's not pulling any punches. He's really going for it and all that stuff.
Yeah, he wants to kill him.
It's good. It's a good move.
The thing the fight goes up the stairs.
Yeah. Real quick, Karen being kind of a badass, hurting the people, distracting.
Yeah.
She catches on. She whispers to Matt to tell him something so that Dex can't hear. And I'm like, interesting. Finally, we're getting to more of a thing with that. But yeah, the fight works its way upstairs. Karen's hiding, right?
Yeah. Matt's about to get finished, and she clubs Dex, and he flips over the banister, drops a good 16 feet onto his his upper back shoulder areas, straight down. And yes, he's wearing a suit.
Okay,
it provides a certain
laws of
amount
physics
of
being a thing,
protection.
Yeah.
And you can fall a good distance, and just through luck of how you land, be fine.
There you go.
But I don't think he would be in this situation.
It was
interesting. He would at least be hobbled a little bit.
They do the movie thing where they film the fall, and I think do you see the full hit?
No, you come over the corner, I think, and see it at right after he lands. You see the landing, I think.
Yeah,
you see the fall to land.
I remember part of the hit and thinking ooh.
Because for some reason I believe he landed on his upper shoulders. Yeah, and then it
was kind of a weird. Yeah, it was a good crumple where I was kind of okay, fuck, because you know, in your head, you're doing all that math. How many flights up are they? Is this like a third tier or second tier, like, you know, balcony banister or whatever thing? Like what are we talking about?
I clocked at like 16, 18 feet. Is what I was picturing that fall.
We're doing the movie thing or like the TV thing where like the person falls in a way where they make it very clear that they're you know they're effed up and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Right. And as a bad guy, he gets that you know that power as well or whatever. I liked that when he's pursuing Karen though, he has like a little bit of like a limp from like the fight with Matt.
The fight actually it did take its toll,
like
and he has a helmet on,
stuff.
so like it would protect his head a little bit in that fall.
Potentially,
but that helmet is so thin; it's just a solid helmet against your skull. So it is not the type of helmet that is protecting you from a fall in that way. There's no cushion. It's your head hitting because
not in the real world, right? But like maybe
your head hitting the ground versus your head hitting like a piece of metal or fiberglass or whatever his helmet's made of, and then the ground is relatively the same.
No, exactly. And like that's where like I've watched a lot of things with people who are no fun. Stepfather, you know, is an engineer and stuff like that. I remember as a child talking about it, and he was like, think about it like this: if you put an egg in like a safe or like a metal box and threw it off a building, right? Yeah. You think the egg is going to be fine in there, or is it going to break? And I was like, good, yes, okay. Like it's very clear, how, you know, like how stuff works. Like, metal's strong to like protect it, and it's like absolutely not. No, you're done or something. Yes, so
yeah. And he didn't fall a crazy distance. People have survived that without anything, just through luck. People have fallen from airplanes, pulled their cord, and it not go off, and they didn't die.
I know.
And I'm like, okay, anything is possible.
Right. So, and like we just see, you know, that he's gone. We don't know exactly what condition he's in.
I would like to pick up the next episode with him limping out and getting picked up and scooped away.
Exactly. Right. I'm hoping not shattered pelvis, but apparently you can have a shattered pelvis in this universe
and they could just
heal up and you can just meditate on it and get better. So that's the kind of looseness with medical stuff that we have to play on these things.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, but I agree with most of those things. That I'm hoping we see some damage because I think he was shouting something or saying something, and you could tell his like mouth from getting just like pummeled or whatever. He was a little because they do like a little blood here and a little like thing or whatever, and you're kind of like okay or whatever. But you could tell he was like tightening his jaw and like limping and stuff. So I really, really, really like that. I've come to really hate action scenes that don't have any impact on the people.
Yeah.
When it's just like, what'd you get, a health pack? How
little things do so much to people.
Like, how did you reset after that other fight? You should be like, oh god, my thing or whatever, right? And that's always,
Yeah, like, you were shot in the knee. You're running in 10 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah, you're just fine. Well, the damage wears off. It's like Call of Duty rules or something like that.
No,
it's
it should be the exact opposite, where it should be weighing harder and harder the longer you go.
As an audience member, you want to get invested in that, and when you feel those blows, and this is like gritty violence, you hear the crunch, you hear like the whatever noises, so like you want to feel it and like carry that through the character and like know. And by the end of this, Matt is like unresponsive.
Oh yeah, no, Matt got the shit beat out of him.
Matt, oh no, and all that stuff. So you're getting that whole thing. But Karen not dead.
Karen
Priest
not dead. Priest dead.
Mom MIA. Foggy DA. And
we have no real interaction with anybody else in this episode besides Dex, Karen, father, and then the back stuff. So we don't know if anything happened with Foggy's parents or anything yet.
No,
it's been a short amount of time since the last time we saw them. So
it's later that same night.
It's honestly only been 20 minutes since the last episode picked off.
It's been merely like a handful of minutes. Because like we said, like what do you think they're gonna stop on the way home and kill Karen? And he's like, "There's one more thing we have to do tonight." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, fuck, all right, nice or whatever." And we get his little thing, which I do like that because this is obviously revenge for Wesley, but we get more. He's like, I don't let people know me. There was one man. You remind me of him, or something like that. I get this okay, fuck, like you're my new right hand man. Go prove yourself.
If you want me to kill him, just say so.
And he failed, right? He didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So now he has to limp back and be like, sir, things you don't understand. He's just one man, a blind man. How is this happen? Get the whole thing. I
killed a priest.
This is
what?
It's like
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's all okay. Marks down a thing. Yeah, I'm interested to see how much of a thing is this going to be, like Vader and the Emperor. Like, is he going to chew him out? Like, what is he going to do here? Right? This is nice. We have a few more episodes to go.
I picture Dex coming back very emotional and almost crying about his failure.
Yeah, right? Because he's like, what the hell? I even saw it coming this time. The first time I was blindsided or whatever, and I basically beat him. I should have killed him. What's wrong with me or whatever? Oh man, yeah. No, this is good. We're on a good track. I feel like this is going to be my favorite episode of the season, just because of that flashback and how much I liked it.
It's very strong. Not gonna lie, very strong episode. I still think my favorite might be when we first see Bullseye as Daredevil.
Okay,
like that was a really good.
That's
episode
really good too. I know, yeah.
And that's one of the best things. If you're like, I can't tell which episode's the best. There's too many good ones.
What I mean by that is we have so this was 10, I think, 11. So we have 3 more left.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
we could top this.
If the arc of the episode, right, we're probably gonna have one episode of some more setup, something comes to a head, and then another episode to like cool off.
I think there will be one more episode, probably like a half and half thing. So probably like episode 12 ending, beginning episode 13 will be this triumphant, amazing action sequence.
Yes.
And I'm super interested.
It worries me though because everyone's so injured. They're gonna have to, like, going back on that thing I said, you kind of have to fudge it.
Yeah.
Because like, too much time can't go by.
Karen's going to give him some drugs.
Karen's going to inject him with something. We're going to go visit a farmhouse. He's going to get a weird bath of like treatments or something.
Yeah, if we could.
It's going to be great. No, I'm super hyped. This is great. Again, we'll talk more about the new episodes and once we see them.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I'm way high on this show. So.
Indeed. All right, guys, so that's our thoughts on this episode. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.